Good morning, student. Welcome here in your social science class. Student, this is your last video lecture of this chapter. Yes, this is your part 2 of chapter, the Mughal Empire from your history. Student, today we will discuss some important topics of this chapter. Now let's come here. Zabt and Zamindar. Okay. So let's understand the meaning of the Zabt and Zamindar. So that time in Mughal Empire, the main source of income available to Mughal ruler was tax on the produce of the peasantry. It means the main source, of the Mughal Empire. Which thing? Yes, tax. They received the tax from whom? From the peasants. Okay. So in most places, peasants paid taxes through the rural elites, that is the headman or the local chieftain. Actually that time it was a chain, tax paid by the peasant to the headman or local chieftain. So the Mughal used one term, zamindar. अब जो वो लोग थे पीजेंट से, वो टैक्स देते थे, या तो वो हेडमैन को देते थे या लोकल शेफ्टियंस को देते थे, जिसके थ्रू वो टैक्स कलेक्ट करके वो मुगल एम्पायर को सबमिट करते थे. सो जो भी दोज हु कलेक्टेड, विच थिंग, दोज एनी पर्सन हु कलेक्टेड टैक्स फ्रॉम द पीजेंट्स, it was known as the which thing? Zamindar. Okay, so zamindar to describe all intermediaries, all, whether they were local headmen or village or powerful chieftain. जो भी थे बेटा, या तो वो local headmen थे या village of जो local headmen थे village के powerful chieftain थे, जो भी tax collect करते थे, it was known as at that time zamindar. Okay, so Akbar revenue minister Todarmal. Who was the Akbar revenue minister that time? Yes, Todarmal carried out a careful survey of crop yield. Yes, Todarmal carried out one careful survey of crop yield. It means to produce or provide crops. Okay, so prices and areas cultivated for a 10-year period. Yes, he carried out one survey. Okay, just look at actually, just think this is a piece of land and divided into 4. So how much crop is cultivated a particular area, then how much this. A careful survey was carried out by whom? By Todarmal. Okay, so prices also, area cultivated for how many years? Yes, 10-year period from 1570 to 1580. So on the basis of the data, tax was fixed on each crop in cash. अब देखिए, just look at thing कि आपकी wheat हो रही है, यहाँ cultivate हो रहा है, तो उसमें कितना आपका result आ रहा है, कितनी crop cultivate हो रही है, तो tax was fixed according to this thing. And here if the rice, so this thing depend upon. So each province was divided into revenue circle with its own schedule of revenue rate for individual crop. Okay, वैसे ही divide कर दिया गया, revenue different. Okay, so this revenue system was known as Zabt. Got it? Which revenue system? Yes, this revenue system was known as Zabt. For everyone, what do you understand by Zabt? Yes, land revenue system. So Zabt was a land revenue system that was framed during the Mughal period. Okay, and this system include taking a careful survey, as I have already told you, careful survey of crop yield and prices cultivated for a 10-year period. On this basis, tax was fixed on each crop in cash. So after this, student, you can say that this was not possible in provinces such as Gujarat and Bengal. Okay, so some areas also that time were not possible, that survey. So which one? Yes, just like Gujarat and Bengal. In some areas, the zamindar exercised a great deal of power, and the exploitation by Mughal administrator could drive them to rebellion. In some places, exploitation ज़्यादा होता था, तो rebellion भी हो जाता था. Okay, and even sometimes zamindar and peasants of the same caste allied in the rebelling against Mughal authority. Okay, they also rebelled against whom thing? Yes, against the Mughal authority due to some exploitation and all. These peasants' revolt challenged the stability of the Mughal Empire from the end of the 17th century. Which century? Yes, कि 17th century कि बहुत से जो peasant थे उन्होंने revolt करा against whom? Against the Mughal Empire. Now, after this, student, just look at here. We will talk about the one important thing about Akbarnama and Aine Akbari. Okay, which thing now we will discuss? We will discuss about the Akbarnama and Aine Akbari. So, Akbar offered one of his close friend and courtiers Abul Fazl. So, Abul Fazl was one person, okay, and he was close friend to Akbar also, and उनके कोर्ट में भी थे वो. तो अकबर ने ऑर्डर किया टू राइट अ हिस्ट्री ऑफ हिज रेन. ओके, दैट अबुल फजल you have to write one history of my reign. So Akbar ordered to his one close friend Abul Fazl. So after this, Abul Fazl wrote a 3-volume history of Akbar reign. How many volume history he wrote, Abul Fazl? Yes, Abul Fazl wrote a 3-volume history titled Akbarnama. Okay, how many volume history? So Abul Fazl wrote a 3-volume history of Akbar reign. उन्होंने उनके टाइम पीरियड की एक 3-volume history लिखी. And what was the title? Yes, title Akbarnama. So just Akbarnama, and yes, see, the first one you can say that about the first volume dealt with Akbar ancestor. Akbar ancestor means उनकी पूर्वज, just like Babur, okay, Humayun, then Temrud and all. So, and what about the second volume? Okay, second volume recorded the events of Akbar reign, कि उनके कौन कौन से events थे. And the third volume is the Aine Akbari. Which thing? Yes, and the third volume is the Aine Akbari. Okay, and it deals with Akbar's administration, household, army, and the revenue and the geography of his empire. Is it clear for everyone, student? So, who wrote Akbarnama first of all? Abul Fazl. Okay, because Akbar ordered. And what about? Yes, it dealt with 3. Yes, which thing? Yes, 3-volume history. The first one dealt with the Akbar ancestor, and the second volume recorded the events of the Akbar reign, and the third volume is the Aine Akbari. Which is the third volume? This is also important, student. The third one is Aine Akbari, and it deals with thing? Yes, Aine Akbari dealt with Akbar administration, household, army, the revenue, and the geography of his empire. And Aine Akbari also provide rich details about the tradition and culture of the people living in India. That time, Aine Akbari also provide just like about the people. Okay, people who living in the India, about the tradition and culture. So the most interesting aspect about the Aine Akbari is its rich statistical details about things like diverse its crop. Okay, other things also details written there. Okay, which? Yes, just like crop, yields, prices, wages and revenue. Here, as you can see in this picture also, here as you can see, Akbar receiving the Akbarnama from Abul Fazl. Here as you can see, Akbarnama. Okay, so Akbar is here, and what about the Abul Fazl? Okay, so Akbarnama जो है ये Akbar receive कर रहे हैं from whom? From Abul Fazl. Now students, just look at here. Okay, so a closer look about Akbar's policy. Now look at here. So here you can see so if we talk about the broad feature of administration, okay, as you all if you know about Abul Fazl. So Abul Fazl wrote 3-volume book, history book of Akbar reign titled Akbarnama, where in the third one, okay, which one? The third volume is the Aine Akbari, and it deals with the Akbar's administration, household, army, the revenue and the geography his empire. So Abul Fazl in his book elaborately discussed where the Akbarnama. Which one? Yes, Akbarnama, in particular in its last volume, the Ain-e-Akbari. So Abul Fazl explained that. What the Abul Fazl explained? Abul Fazl explained that the empire was divided into provinces called subas. Now just look at here, student. If as you all if you know about, if we talk about our country India, it is divided into 28 states. Okay, as you all if you know that. So same thing about the Mughal Empire. The whole empire was divided into different, okay, which thing? Yes, provinces, different provinces, and each province called subas. What it called? Yes, subas. Got it? So Abul Fazl explained that empire was divided into provinces and called subas, and governed by whom? Governed by Subedar. Is it clear? So Subedar who carried out both political and military function. So Subedar, that time he had a responsibility to carry out the both political and military function of the Mughal Empire. Each province also had a finance officer also, or Diwan. Just as today we have financial minister also and all ना, तो तब भी बेटा वही होता था कि जो each province था, जो each divide किया गया था, उनका एक finance minister और finance officer होता था, और it was also known as the Diwan. Then for the maintenance of peace and order in his province, अपनी उसमें maintain करने के लिए, for which thing? Peace and order. The Subedar was supported by other officers also. Which things? Yes, the Subedar क्या होता था? Supported by other officers also, such as the military paymaster. And what about the military paymaster? Bakshi. What it was known as that time? Yes, Bakshi. The minister in charge of religious. Now we will talk कि जो आपके to maintain the which thing? Yes, peace and order. जो उनको help करता था, paymaster Bakshi. And what about the minister in charge of religious and charitable patronage? Sadr. Which one? Sadr. Okay. And what about the military commanders? Faujdars. What about the military commanders? Yes, Faujdar. And town police commander? Kotwal. Is it clear for everyone? Okay. Which term used? Okay, Sadr for in charge of religious and charitable patronage. And what about the Faujdar? Military commanders. And what about the Kotwal? Yes, town police commander. If you talk about the Akbar nobles commanded large armies and had access to large amounts of revenue. While they were loyal, the empire functioned efficiently, but by the end of the 17th century, many nobles had built independent network of their own. Their loyalties to the empire were weakened by their own self-interest. इट मीन्स अगर हम बात करें बेटा स्टार्टिंग के टाइम पे, तो जो अकबर के सारे नोबल्स थे, ओके, वो अच्छे से वर्क करते थे फॉर अकबर, बट एट द टाइम गोइंग ऑन, बट जैसे जैसे टाइम जाने लगा, बट दे डिड, ओके, सो अकबर्स नोबल जो कमांडेड थे, जो लार्ज आर्मीज थे, वो अच्छे से रेवेन्यू नॉन कलेक्ट करते थे, बट जैसे जैसे एट द एंड ऑफ द 17th सेंचुरी मैनी नोबल्स हैड बिल्ड इंडिपेंडेंट नेटवर्क्स ऑफ देयर ओन. उन्होंने अपने नेटवर्क्स बना लिए और जो उनकी लॉयल्टीज थी उन्होंने वीक कर दिया किसको? अकबर की एम्पायर को. ओके, सो वाइल अकबर वॉज एट फतेहपुर सीकरी, when yes, while Akbar was at Fatehpur Sikri during the 1570, he started discussions on religion with the ulama, Brahmins, Jesuit priests, okay, who were Roman Catholics and Zoroastrians. It means कि वो जब अकबर थे from where? In Fatehpur Sikri, and when which year? During this 1570, Akbar started discussion on different religion also, with the whom with the ulama, Brahmins, okay, Jesuit priests who were Roman Catholics and Zoroastrians also. So these discussion took place in the Ibadat Khana. Okay, जो डिस्कस होता था फतेहपुर सीकरी में, where? Yes, in the Ibadat Khana. Okay, he was interested in the religion and social customs of different people. That time, Akbar was very interested. Akbar was very interested where, yes, religion and social customs of different people, different cultures and tradition and custom. Even Akbar's interaction with people of different faith made him realize that religious scholars also who emphasized ritual and dogma were often bigots. So dogma means a statement or an interpretation declared as authoritative with the expectation that it would be followed without question. It means you have to follow the rule and all without asking the question. Okay, बस आपको follow करना है, you cannot ask any question. And what about the bigot? An individual who is intolerant of another person's religious beliefs or culture. कि डाउन करते थे कि your religious is not good, your religion is very down, like this. So their teaching created divisions. Whose teaching? Yes, you can say that Akbar's teaching. Akbar teaching created divisions and disharmony against his subject. This eventually led Akbar to the which thing? Idea of Sulh-e-Kul. Okay, this is also very important, student. Sulh-e-Kul means universal peace. What is the meaning of the Sulh-e-Kul? Yes, Sulh-e-Kul means universal peace. Okay, this idea of tolerance did not discriminate between people of different religion in his realm. It means no one can discriminate between the people according to their religion. Okay, all are equal according to this universal peace. Instead, it focused on a system of ethics, honesty. कि we will focus on other system also, just like हम कैसे रहेंगे अकबर जो मानते थे, honestly, justice, peace, and that was universally applicable. Okay, even Abul Fazl also, who helped the Akbar? Yes, Abul Fazl. Abul Fazl helped Akbar in framing a vision of governance अराउंड दिस आइडिया ऑफ Sulh-e-Kul, क्योंकि वो चाहते थे कि Sulh-e-Kul रहे, यूनिवर्सल पीस रहे और अच्छे से हॉनेस्टी पे हम चले, जस्टिस करें, पीस करें. सो हु हेल्प अबाउट दिस थिंग? Abul Fazl. Abul Fazl helped to whom? Helped the Akbar in framing a vision of governance around this idea of Sulh-e-Kul. This principle of governance was followed by Jahangir and Shahjahan as well. Okay, here as you can see in this picture also, student. So here as you can see in this picture, Akbar holding discussions with learned individuals of different faith in the Ibadat Khana. Where? Yes, Ibadat Khana. Class, we can say that Akbar's reign. Okay, here as you know, we already discussed about the family tree in this chapter, Mughal Emperor. Okay, where we discussed about the other rulers also of Mughal Emperor and major campaigns also of event just like Babur. Okay, then Humayun, then Akbar, Jahangir, Shah Jahan and Aurangzeb. So we can say that Akbar reign significantly influenced the course of Indian history. Okay, in Mughal Empire. So during the Akbar rule, you can say that during his rule, the Mughal Empire tripled in size and wealth. Okay, उनके टाइम पे बहुत ग्रो करा अकबर के टाइम पे, and Akbar created a powerful military system also. Okay, and Akbar created a powerful military system also and instituted an effective political and social reforms also. And he also believed that time about, as all of you know that I have already. So Akbar led to which idea? Idea of Sulh-e-Kul. Okay, and what was the meaning of the Sulh-e-Kul? You can say that universal peace. Okay, and this idea of tolerance did not discriminate. Sulh-e-Kul idea or universal peace, you can say that this idea of tolerance did not discriminate between people, different people, religion in his realm. Instead, it focusing on a system of ethics just like honesty, justice, peace that was universally applicable. So Akbar was a very great ruler, Mughal ruler of that time. So student, for today that's it. Thank you all of you. And now this chapter is completed. In next video, we will continue our next chapter. Okay, student, thank you all of you. Have a nice day ahead.